Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest is Guy Bryant, who is a local attorney. And not only that, he is the new general counsel and headed up the Legal Redress Committee of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. Now, Guy, let's talk more about the NAACP. As head of its Legal Redress Committee, General Counsel, what do you perceive as being your primary duties in that position?
Well, right now I'm assessing a lot of what our capacity is, but my ultimate goal is that we build greater capacity to influence and to actually provide real redress to issues that we find that need to be addressed. So I want us to have the capacity that if we need to coordinate with national NAACP or the state NAACP, that we can actually have the resources, for example, lately with regards to the recount for the mayor's office, for example, in that election. Do we have the capacity to potentially go to court or some other venue to try and seek a fair resolution to these controversies or these concerns? And just overall, you know, when people contact NAACP, whether it's an issue with regards to their students not getting adequately served from their local institution, or person it feels that they're not being properly treated at their job or their employment, more than just directing them to the Fair Employment and Housing Commission or some other groups, is there any way that we, as a local branch, can be both a resource for not only the community, but for the business community and for the institutions? We don't want to have folks spend a whole lot of time in litigation and a whole lot of time in
because
that
sometimes litigation, while litigation is important, but the political process can often get you results. Now, I'm going to give an example. I know you did not become involved in this particular case with the Oakland police chief for good reasons. I believe you had some type of conflict, so I did become involved with it on behalf of the NAACP when the mayor, unfortunately, prematurely made a decision to put the chief on administrative leave without, getting all the facts. But I'm happy to say that today she reversed that decision, and that was the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And but it was the political pressure through the NAACP and other groups that helped her to understand that it was the right thing to do to put Chief LaRon Armstrong back at his job, and it was done. And certainly we commend the mayor for that.
Absolutely.
But without the impact of the NAACP, I don't know what would have happened.
And that's a perfect example of the importance of the energy and having capacity and reaching out to other groups. I really think that the NAACP needs to reach out to the Urban League and other groups.
The 100 Black Men, which they did here. They had had a lot of groups involved.
Right,
100 Black Men, the Pastors of Oakland, name it.
And even new groups like the ADOS Advocacy Foundation or other groups that are out there trying to push for issues that impact the community immediately. And I think we have to have those kinds of partnerships and have the focus that these different groups bring for the benefit of African American people who have that history of being here. I can count 6+ generations that my family has been in this country.
So while litigation is important, oftentimes it probably should be the last solution.
Absolutely.
And because litigation, it takes a long time.
And then often you're putting your fate in the hands of a fact finder or a judge, and the result may not be what either party wants. And so, yeah, my goal when I talk about heading the chair of the redress committee is actual redress. How can we actually come together, kind of in the spirit of MLK,
Yes.
and actually work through issues short of litigation? Yeah, you can always have litigation as your final piece,
Right.
but it really is much more beneficial to work together and, like you said, politically come to positive resolutions. But it's just what works best, because I'll just leave on this. When I was a kid, we always used to talk about America's number one.
Right.
You know, we weren't content to be number 2, number 7, whatever, in anything, whether it was the Olympics, education, whatever. And it pains me to see us right now at 17 in math or 20-something in science.
And that should not be.
It should not be. And as a country, we have to come together and say, who are we again?
And a lot has been done locally here with the NAACP, working with our schools. And our new president, Cynthia Adams, was head of the Education Committee. Don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and my guest is Guy Bryant.